Morning! Morning, morning. How we doing? How's it going? Bring that down a bit more. Monday, my guy. How we all doing? Mextron thumbs. Hello, hello. Sorry, I was just... there's so many things going on YouTube right now that I just kind of have to try and do the comments in little chunks. And I was just trying to do some then, during the ads at the start. Just try and get them out of the way. It's very stormy here today. I'll say stormy. High winds. High winds. A reasonable amount of rain. Which means the temperature's 24.5 degrees. Oh, outside is 13. Oh, beautiful. Beautiful. Beautiful, I'll take that. I'll take that. Lovely, lovely. What I find hilarious is, like, 24.5 degrees. A week and a half ago, probably would have been sat here going, oh, it's a bit warm. It's a bit warm. 24.5. Now it's like, oh, it's time to put on another layer. Might go get a jumper. Good times. Good times. Before we get into we're doing art this morning, by the way, for anyone who's unaware. We are like we've done what, 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks, 2.5 weeks, call it, of just like solid Dune. So we are going to bring back some of the other bits again. So we're going to do some artwork this morning, though weirdly it's going to be the Dune artwork, so I suppose it's still Dune. But yeah, we're going to bring back a bit of the artwork this morning. Oh, what's going on there? Oh wait, no, okay. I can read. Sorry, this YouTube thing popped off. It's kind of breaking my brain. It's kind of breaking my brain right now. We went past 1 million views in the last 28 days. We went past 1 million views, 6,500 watch hours, and 314 subscribers in the last, not quite 10. If I go down to like 7 days, it comes down a bit more. But that's almost everything from the last, from basically when I started doing the Dune shorts. I'm a little bit nervous because we're going to be doing some other shorts that aren't Dune, and we're really going to see whether those kind of numbers hold up when we aren't doing Dune content. But we'll see. We'll see. The only problem I have right now is YouTube recognizing it. Like it's trickling in. The stats are trickling in each day, but I don't know if I don't think everything's coming through. I don't think everything's coming through. They do say that they need... Although, actually, wait, hang on. Showing data as of the 18th of June. So that would have been last Wednesday. Oh, I tell you what, by this Wednesday... Yeah, because they do say 3 to 5 days for the data to trickle through. So yeah, if we're showing as of the 18th, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5... So by Wednesday, maybe Thursday, hopefully all those stats will be in. And they'll count. Still need another 500 subscribers. But it's gone way, way better than I thought it would. But yeah. Thumbs, we went out for a walk at 6:30 this morning, and it was lovely. I woke up... I think I woke up at 5:30 this morning. I should have gone for a walk. I did not. I did not go for it. I should have. I did not go for a walk. So that's that. And that's all I will be saying about that. But yeah, it seemed nice this morning. So that was good. But yeah, the short's doing great. It's a lot of salt. A lot of angry people. A lot of very happy people. A lot of angry people when it comes to shorts. I've never really fully taken it in when I've been watching other people's stuff, but I see it all on mine. There's a lot. There's a lot of angry people. Heading for the big time YouTuber. Well, the problem is you have to follow it up, don't you? Like shorts aren't going to be enough. We don't make enough shorts for it to be enough. Like, I'm going to have to start interspersing other things. I just don't know what those other things are going to be yet. But yeah, so that's cool. That's cool. We did some Schedule 1 last night. We'll probably be doing that next Sunday and see how that cracks on. What would be awesome is if while we're doing that, if a content update could come out for Schedule 1, but I don't know if we've timed it right. We'll have to see how it goes. And that's, you know, we're gonna have fun with it anyway. We made lots of money last night. It's very interesting having like, you know, just an extra pair of hands that can do everything. You know, obviously you can buy staff in that game. But they are very restricted in what they can do. And a lot of the jobs don't require someone working on them full time. So having an additional player, or maybe even an additional third player, just allows, you know, everyone can switch between stuff. So that was good. But anyway, right, should we get the drawing tablet out? Do some bits. If anything, this art piece needs to be finished by... It was meant to be finished for June, but at a minimum, let's try and get it finished in June. June in June. June in June. Those two words together. While listening to tunes. Making Dune in June. Squeaky. Squeaky, squeaky. That. Okay. Where did I put the thingy? There's the thingy. Let's flip ourselves over for the thingy. And I need you. Oh, no, not that one. That one. There we go. Marvellous. Feels like it's... Oh god, it feels like it's on fire in your room. Well, that's unfortunate, Megastron. I haven't actually put the fan on. I might put the fan on before we get too into this, just get a little bit of movement. Thumbs around 25 degrees C in your study. Temperature doesn't fluctuate too much, so with the fan running it's quite comfortable. Yeah, I need to turn on this fan. That needs to happen. Whoa, that loaded fast. Wait, if I just loaded up, it's because I've loaded up the PNG. If I load up the PNG, that will indeed load up very quickly. Where is... There's the proper one. Yeah, let me grab that fan. Got to try and remember what I was doing. I mean, there's not a million things that I actually want to do in terms of finishing this thing off. Like, I'm probably not going to do any more on this Thopter. Maybe a little bit of more highlighting on those wings. Still hate that this all isn't in the same... But once it's zoomed out, you don't notice as much. But it isn't right. It's off. It's off. We need to get some bits done on this quick. I say quick. Means nothing. Means nothing. Let's grab. What are you? What are you? Got a layer here. I don't know what it's doing. I don't think it's doing anything. This is now my layer for doing some bits here. So we're going to do art for the majority of today. We and then we'll likely do some June this afternoon. But I want to get a bunch of this done first, and then we'll see how that goes. Alan, good morning. How you doing? So yeah, when we do June this afternoon, we'll probably do. We've still got more. Well, when we kind of got to the end last week, we we needed to do the Hephaestus story, so we'll probably have a look at that this week. Helen, you're trying to solve the case of the disappearing trousers, but otherwise fine. Right. Do you have a prior location to the disappearing trousers, or have they just ceased to exist? Is it one of those things that has gone into the washing machine black hole? Or is it something that is... you knew exactly where it was right up until the point you needed it, and now it's gone? Oh, Mextron, the follow-up on your thing. You didn't have to fire anybody yesterday. And that still, yeah, that still sucks that people got fired. But I suppose, yeah, if you didn't have to do it yourself, that's a small mercy. Not necessarily a good thing, but a small mercy, innit? Oh, you think you're gonna quit tomorrow? That sucks. That sucks if the whole thing's made you feel like that. Might go work for your mum, she's a contractor. Fair dues. Yeah, that's good if you got an option. Definitely good if you got an option to go to. Helen, you've solved the case. You have found the trousers. Congratulations. They're in a bag of clothes. He went through this one. Well, as long as they're found, that's the main thing, isn't it? Why are you being weird? Why are you giving me a weird... Oh. Oh. That's why you're looking weird. Okay. Could have that back, please. To a normal size. Mextron, there's only 3 of you left. It's going to be way too straight. That is, yeah, I think, because you said yesterday, didn't you, 15? 15 went yesterday, so yeah. Going from 18 to 3 is quite a big difference. It was going to be 15, but it was 32. Oh, yeah, okay. In which case, that's an even bigger. It's an even bigger dip. Got my phone next to me. I've got my phone next to me. So all I'm just getting is I need to. I don't even know what this one was trying to say. Oh yeah. Got my phone next to me, so every now and then I'm just seeing notifications pop up, which are just the angry people on YouTube about the shorts. Oh dear. I might redo this. I don't like what I'm doing here. So give me. I've not got the. I'm trying to do details, but they're going against each other in terms of where the light and shadow should be. Let's get rid of it all. Where's the light? Because I've kind of said the light's over here, haven't I? If the light's over there... Yeah, alright. We'll change this around a bit. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. The owner of the company passed away at the beginning of the year. The son and wife go on vacation every week. They don't know what to do with the business. Oh, so the person who knew how the business was run has gone. That's a shame. Morning, Yana. Morning, morning. You and some other people trying to keep the business going, to keep getting paychecks. Yeah. Oh, but though the other people involved got fired. Well, some of the ones who went yesterday. Got you. And your mum's been able to hire some of them. That's cool. That's cool that some people have managed to get new jobs then. Aussie Midnight, hello, hello. It's going alright? It's going okay. Just, working on trying to get this finished. In some way, shape or form. Which may or may not happen. Sorry, just double checking things are working as I think they are. They appear to be. I realise a lot of my chat at the moment is going to be about Dune, but it's because it's the main game that I'm playing, so it takes up a lot of my time. I was watching some of the Pirate Software stream at the weekend, and it was kind of ridiculous. He was in the PvP zone, and as he was going through the PvP zone, some people came and attacked him. Which, you know, it's PvP. You know, that kind of thing happens. But PvP is not great in Dune at the moment. It's a bit. It's not really fit for purpose. Like, it kind of, there's a lot of rubber banding and there's a lot of like lag and stuff. Even if you're playing on a server that's in a region where you are, so it's not like it's oh, you're playing on the other side of the world. Like, just something's not right in the code, and so there's a lot of problems with PvP. But anyway, so people came along and attacked him, and he was not a very happy boy about it, despite how much he talks about PvP. He was not a happy boy. Essentially, I think he was ambushed. He was ambushed in like doing a run on one of the labs, and he was kind of like, well, you know, he got a bit annoyed about it because he was like, first off, he doesn't like the fact that the PvP don't work, and then it's kind of known it doesn't work. And then he got a little bit annoyed because he was like, they could have at least waited until I'd finished the room, but they ambushed him while he was trying to clear the room. Which, you know, you can take however you want. I'm kind of like, I don't like PvP, but if I'm in a PvP zone and someone PvPs me, I'm gonna be like, well, damn it. Kind of sucks, you know. It's a bit like when you used to play WoW. I used to kind of hate PvP, but I was also kind of like, this is where I gotta go if I want these things. But the bit that was stupid, like the bit that I thought was stupid, was like he was berating them for like taking advantage of the fact that PvP don't work very well, and they claimed that they didn't know anyone was in the dungeon, so essentially they hadn't intentionally tried to attack him. And then he was talking about like stream sniping, which fortunately I've never had to deal with. But the bit that was stupid was they started saying, like, when he started accusing them of stream sniping, they started saying, "Got no idea who you are. Don't know who you are." Now you might be saying, but Bearded, you know, not everyone knows every streamer on the internet. So, you know, there's a solid chat. Maybe they've just never seen his streams. They're on his private server. Like, they're on his private server, the details of which are on his Discord. So these people were like trying to claim they didn't have a clue who he was, despite the fact they were playing on his space. And it was just like this, the problem was, when you know that, it's just kind of like, it's all of a sudden you're like, you were definitely stream sniping then. If you're going to start trying to claim that you don't know who the person is when you're on their private server. And then it turned out it was someone who'd like got banned from, I think it was their Ashes of Creation guild or something. It was someone who'd been banned from their Ashes of Creation server for breaking some rules. I don't know what the rules were for Ashes of Creation, so I'm not going to try and come into that. And then the person had like uploaded a video on YouTube and were trying to put it into his chat, and they were like sending it to his mods and stuff. It's just like, man, you're not really helping yourself in trying to convince him that it wasn't stream sniping when you then go and make a bunch of videos about it on his server. But I thought that was kind of just so weird, just so weird that people are like that. I don't get it. But not just for the fact, like, on the one side, the fact that they do it at all, I find it is a bit weird. But the fact that they thought they could get away with it when they're just like, they're going, I don't know who you are. Happened to wander into here.
Now.
Just kind of like, what are you doing? Lord Elston, thank you very much for the prime. Thank you very kindly. It's one way to get banned from the server. Yeah, I mean, I presume they got banned from the server, but I don't actually. I'd imagine they got banned from the server. Because the thing was, if they were already banned from the guild in a different game, probably going to get banned from that one as well, aren't they? What am I doing here? What am I doing? This is... I've got shapes going on. I don't know why I've got shapes going on the way I've got them. Yeah, it was a very weird thing. Very weird thing to see, just... Because, like, stream sniping is just an odd behaviour. But anyway, that was on the June thing, which it's kind of... what I do find kind of interesting is, like, a lot of people kind of say, oh, if you're on private servers, you've got it kind of easier. And then right there you're going, no, apparently not. Apparently it's not any easier. Because people find it easier to find you. Hello, Axa, how you doing? Thumbs, enjoy your lurkings. Which is on that. I tell you what, let's get a little bit on the... I don't want to break up these shapes, not loving them. You'll be pleased to know I did not get around to watching the 1980s Dune. I don't know when I'm going to get around to watching it. I will get around to watching it at some point, just not yet. But I do want to watch it again. But I got batteries now. I got batteries for the remote, so that'll be fine. Lord Elston, I have to say, no offense intended. It's always a good way to start a sentence, Lord Elston. But watching me play Dune has reinforced your prejudice against multiplayer games. What specifically did you hate about Dune? And I'm sorry, we're going to be streaming it for a bit longer. But you knew that anyway. You knew it's going to be coming for a bit longer. But which bit? Which bit do you hate the most? And if it's just me, I might take offense. What do you hate most about the multiplayer games? You, Bearded. You're the part I hate about the multiplayer games. Then I might take that personally. There's other people. Do you know what? I had a sneaking suspicion that was going to be your response. I just part of me knew, based on other things you've said in the past, Lord Ulster, that was going to be the what you were going to go with. Do you mean in terms of how? Do you mean in terms of like when people are getting like when I'm streaming? Do you mean like when people are like running up to the camera and doing stuff on camera and then running off, or do you mean the fact that you can even see people in the background, which almost feels like they're almost like an NPC when they're in the background, or like is it what's the I do mean I mean this is an absolute. I'm curious what it is that you dislike about the other people being there. Like, is it the fact that they can interrupt what you're doing, or is it maybe not the fact that they're there? Is it the fact that you're worried that they are there and might come and interrupt what you're doing? Because I can understand, I completely get that. I completely get that as a thing. You're just like they're going, I just want to play this game, but I'm concerned someone's going to run along and shoot what I need. You're surrounded by other people all the time. You need an escape, drive your virtual truck, shoot your virtual deer. I understand. Yeah. No, I get that. I get that. You're playing games because you want to be, you want to remove yourself from society, not so you can just interact with another society. Yeah, no, I get that. So then, okay. So out of curiosity, then, because it's something I'm probably going to be doing more of, like during day streams. During day streams, there's always going to be a lot of single player content. Like that's going to be like what once we stop playing Dune, we'll be playing. Well, I'll tell you what. By the time we stop playing Dune, we'll kind of be waiting for the next Anno game, when Pax Romana comes along. But does it just? Is it? Is it? So okay, so this is because I class them as very different situations. Oh, sorry, not very different, but I class them as noticeably different situations. So, for instance, with June, there's a lot of people who can turn up. Like, certainly when we get into the deep desert, which is the big PvP area, even people I don't know can turn up at that point. When we're in the PvE area, it's just people I know. So, would you say you feel the same about, like, for instance, the stream I did last night for Schedule 1, where it was me and Shifty playing? Like, even at that point, is it kind of like, ugh, no, even like a co-op game is too much multiplayer? Like, is there a level of multiplayer that you are okay with, or is it just any multiplayer? Because I suppose I should say, like, if you're going out hunting a deer, because like if you went on a game where you were like hunting a deer or something like that, would you ever play the game with someone else and like you hunt the deer together? Hello, Toxic. How you doing? Toxic, you have to pretend to like people for your work. And you don't like people, so when you're done, you don't want to interact with people. I get that. I understand. I understand that. So from your perspective, Toxic, it's not even like there's not even like a small version of multiplayer, like even co-op is not really what you want to do. I used to be very about single player games. Like I think part of it for me is like growing up in a world where like it wasn't even an option. Do you know what I mean? Like back in like the 90s, you weren't really doing much. You know, there was a little bit towards the end of the 90s, but for the majority of the 90s, you weren't doing co-op games unless you were dragging your entire PC to someone's house, which, being a young boy back then, was not really an option to do regularly. I think I said this before, like I had one mate who his dad was really into gaming as well, so they had 2 computers. Glorious times. Glorious times going to theirs, being able to do multiplayer games. And they had them set up in different parts of the house as well, so there was no like looking over at the other screen. Whereas now, I mean, like I feel like I do a relatively even split when I'm streaming. Like I think I do a reasonable amount of single player stuff. I can also see it from a viewer's point of view as well, because like from a viewer point of view, you find a streamer that you like listening to, you like interacting with, and then if they do like a collaborative stream, it might be okay if they do a stream with someone else that you happen to like, but if you don't like the other streamer, it kind of ruins the whole experience, doesn't it? It's bringing in a whole new element for you to potentially not enjoy. Toxic co-op works for you in small doses. If you need help completing something, that's fine, but then it's better to solo. I get that. I get that. And even when I'm playing Dune, a lot of the stuff that I like to do in Dune, I prefer to do solo. Part of the reason why I'm part of the reason why I'm curious about this is because at some point in the future, I can't remember exactly when it's coming out, but like we'll have Subnautica 2. Subnautica 2 will exist, and I'll be very pleased that Subnautica 2 comes out, and I'll be very upset if it's not very good. But Subnautica 2 is going to come out at some point, and when that comes out, that is being designed as a so you can do it as a co-op experience. So I probably will be doing it as a co-op experience. And being that it's story driven quite heavily, I'm wondering if I do it as a co-op experience, will I want to do it as a solo experience as well? Hopefully I will. Hopefully I will absolutely want to do like a solo run and a co-op run. Helen, you got with 3 siblings, so you played a lot of LAN games. Nice. Nice. Yeah, do you know, fully enough, Helen, the household that I was referring to, they had three boys. Wait, Helen, wait. Do I know you? Do I know you from elsewhere, Helen? The household I'm thinking of had 3 boys and a girl. And so yeah, they liked to do like LAN games and stuff. Toxic, you only play PvE, even in games where there's an option for PvP. I mean, I did that with Rust. I'm curious, thinking about it, I'm curious if I would be more interested in the PvP side of Rust if I had other people to play it with. I don't know, because like Rust is very... do you know what the problem is? I really liked Rust, but Rust was not designed for me, because Rust was like, I want to build, and Rust is like built for people who want to destroy. So not necessarily the best combo. But I did find a PvE server for Rust. So I suppose that's kind of an example of that, because it is a PvP game, and I went and found a PvE server for it. But yeah, I'm curious on people's answers, because I'm curious how much the PvP element of multiplayer kills people's enjoyment of multiplayer. Because I remember back in like the World of Warcraft days, I was not a PvP player. I had no interest in PvP. I just wanted to do my thing, play on my Todd, and crack on. And just there were areas of WoW that you couldn't do that. And just to clarify, that's not me going, WoW is bad, WoW was bad. You know, there were PvP areas that you couldn't play in. So I just went and played in other areas. Lord Elston, you play co-op with your kids, and then they gang up and pick on you. Wait, hang on. So, Lord Elston, is it that you hate multiplayer, or is it that your family bullies you in multiplayer? I think we're having a breakthrough here. Maybe you don't hate multiplayer at all. Yeah, multiplayer, and it's easy to get put off by multiplayer. If everyone you're playing with, and this is why I asked the difference, why I see there being a difference between co-op and multiplayer, because like in co-op, you're it is multiplayer, but you're playing with people who want to work with you. And yeah, hello. Hiya, Growler. How you doing? Hiya. It's great. You were watching June clips on YouTube, and then you saw one of my clips. Well, just so you know, Growler. Thank you for helping me get to... Where is it? Wait, I need to get to the screen. How do I get to the screen? See, this is how bad I am at YouTube. I don't even know how to get to the screen. Where's... Oh my god. It's gone up. It's gone up. Wait, is there anything on here that is a terrible... Like, I don't give away, like, a password or something, do I? No. No, this is fine. Hang on. Growler. Thank you for contributing to that number up there. Thank you very kindly for contributing to that number up there. And everyone else who's watched. I'm so chuffed about this stuff. It was 1 million. So it must have been on the way to 1.1. But it was 1 million. And then nearly 7,000. I love this. This shows you, right, this shows you how dead my channel was before this. Watch time, 7,000 hours. 6.9 thousand more than usual. Views, 1.1 million. 1.1 million more than usual. But that's probably why you're seeing my shorts, Growler. Apologies if you end up seeing so many that you hate me, but, you know, I can't really control that. But yeah, this is going great at the moment. This is where I find out that Growler has actually got a second account, and he's one of the people who's been putting all their in hindsight messages. I say in hindsight because I realise if I keep calling them nasty messages or angry messages, people will probably get angrier. And it was the one... Oh, you saw one of my clips on it. Oh, it was someone... Someone's put one of my clips into their clips. I am intrigued. I'm intrigued what that's about. Please send me a link. This is how famous I've got. Or was it someone absolutely trashing it? Was it someone getting angry? Was it someone getting angry at the fact that I exist? And so they decided to make a video about it. You did on the Discord. Oh, you did on Discord. You did on the Discord. What? Where? Where? Wait. You already posted it. Where? Don't see it. Oh, it's just come up now. It's just come up now. Big boy streamer. Wow. So it's on top gaming highlights. If you want, hang on, what? The clip of me is immediately followed by, hey, if you want to be featured in our videos, send us a clip. I didn't send this to them. I didn't send this to them at all. Lies from the channel, sue them. Yeah, sue that channel. Sue them. There you go. That's... yeah. Like, the thing is, like, my stuff is set so that people can put it into clips. The only thing I'm not loving about that is the fact that it almost implies that I asked them to put me in the highlights. That's a bit naughty, because I did not submit anything to them. But that seems to imply that I submitted something to them. Do you copyright strike them? Actually, yeah, hang on. Wait. I just noticed something. Oh no, they do. Okay, they do put my Twitch name on it. I was just wondering whether there was actually any link to the fact that I never where that came from. Okay. Well, there we are. Well, thank you for letting me know. If you come across any more of them, please let me know. I say, I don't really mind. Like, at the end of the day, it's all publicity. Something like that, isn't it? It's all publicity. I say it's just a bit weird. Just a bit weird that it kind of implies that we're asking to be in that video. Anyway, right, hang on. Where were we up to? Where were we up to? Sorry, Helen, you, oh, two brothers, two sisters, gotcha. Three PCs between the family, so lots of fighting about who got to play. Nice. And then Helen, you find what you will watch versus what you will play very different. I can get that. Like, there's a lot of stuff that I will play that I will watch. But then there's certain things like, you know, when people do things like horror games, I'm more inclined to watch someone play a horror game. But don't really have a super amount of interest in playing horror games. Certainly not on camera. I don't enjoy jump scares in any way, shape or form. So very unlikely to do that. And hello Slice Pie, how you doing? How's it going? And tell you what, yeah, well, I'll hydrate. Why not? Why not? It's it's 20 to 11. Having fun with Enshrouded at the moment, which is nice to co-op. I feel I probably should go back to Enshrouded at some point. I probably should. I had Enshrouded, and then it just didn't grab me the first time I played it, because I can't remember what came up as well. Something else came up streaming-wise, because at one point I was going to stream Enshrouded, and then I played it, and it didn't totally grab me, and then there was something else, I think, that came up, so I streamed that instead. But when I was watching KG's stuff, he had a great time, certainly with the building side of things. So I'm kind of like, I probably should go and play that at some point. Especially as I've bought it and I've got, I don't know how many hours I've got in Enshrouded. Very few would probably be the answer. Enshrouded. 3.3 hours. That's actually more than I thought it was. It's more than I thought it was, but there we go. Lavender. Oh, hello, Lavender. Oh, have you not? I suppose, yeah, actually, yeah, Lavender. If you came along during the Dune stuff, then yeah. Art is meant to be the primary thing of this channel. But yeah, the Dune in Dune was meant to be a bit of a special. So yeah, welcome in. Welcome in. Growler, you think they said submit your clips so they don't have to go around the internet looking for more clips? Yeah, oh yeah, no, I get they probably want people sending them clips. It's just, it's like with how much I've realized how angry people get in YouTube comments. I'm sure there will be someone who will start turning around and saying, hey, you're just getting people to promote your content, which is not what I'm doing. Oh, that's a bit annoying. I've just noticed. NASA in YouTube. Hello. Hi, NASA. I don't know why you're not showing up on my other chat. My other chat appears to be broken. Hang on, let me see if I can fix that. Apologies. Your YouTube chat was behind a screen. Why is that? Why are you not working? That's fine. Why is that not working? Okay, I will I'll keep the YouTube chat on another screen. I'm not sure why it's meant to be showing up in this multi-chat. Multi-chat is not multi-chatting. For some reason. Let me just see if there's a button I can flick. No, it's just that. Okay. Hello, Dan. Morning, morning. Alright, well, I will just keep an eye on that. I'll keep that window open too. And see you, Yana, if you're still here. Helen, you got jump whilst playing while waiting. Horror games are not for you. Yes. Slice Pie, your head is a balloon today. Oh dear. Lord Ilston, a work colleague's PvP or PvE? I think it's probably safer to go with work on the fact that everyone is PvE. Start there. Probably a safer approach. If you're working on individual commission, then it's 100% PvP. Oh my god. Wait, so Helen, would that mean that are we saying like that Twitch is PvP then? Ash says in June. Muad'Dib disagrees with you. Muad'Dib does not concur with your lack of Dune. How's it going? I really want to get this working. I want to get... What? I'll tell you what. I'm going to close multi-chat. I'm going to get rid of multi-chat. And I'm going to reopen it. And then... I don't know if that's going to do anything. I don't know if it's going to do anything, but we're going to do that. And then... what you use for multi-chat? OBS. Stream elements. It's been working fine. And then just apparently it was not working this morning. I don't know why. See. Tell you what. Do test. Okay. I don't know. Right. Whatever buttons I've just been pressing apparently got it working again. Okay. Now I have YouTube back. Strange. Opening and closing the window apparently was fun. Growler, few jobs are PvE co-op. Suppose being a firefighter is PvE. Yeah, yeah, firefighter would be PvE. I feel like well, I suppose that's the problem, isn't it? Elements of your job might be PvE. But yeah, probably not the whole thing. I'm going to add a little bit of a thing here. Just to kind of show that this is a bit more connected. It's not right. For anyone who's actually seen one of these things in game, there's many things wrong with this image. But that's alright. Happy little accidents. Helen, you gotta go. Enjoy your day. Enjoy. Squire, you got a prank for me? I don't think it works if you tell me that you're going to do the prank. But, sure. Sure. You could do on your house... oh wait, hang on. So yeah, you could do a prank for you. You could do on your household family members. Lay 1p and 2p coins in front of your front doorstep and then say, there's coppers at the front door. That's terrible. That's so bad. That's so bad. How many times have you done this? That's probably the next question, isn't it? How many times have you actually done this? Zero. You're unfunny, and you don't get invited to many. Well, maybe you're not getting invited to the parties because you're not doing those. Maybe you should be doing those jokes, and you'll get invited to the parties. Have you thought of it like that? This is where next week Growler comes into chat and goes, well, it's been confirmed I'm not being invited to any more parties after having been invited to one. Oops. Not what I wanted. Give me you. Last house party you went to, it was your old housemate's birthday party. He invited you to it. He turned up 2 hours late and then disappeared for the rest of the night after an hour. He's notorious for arriving late and not at all to a lot of things. Right. Was that potentially him pranking you then? Toxic, you're so very glad you're too old to have to go to party. I don't want to go to parties and I'm old enough to tell you no. Yeah, I haven't been to a party. I can't remember last time I went to a party. Yeah, when was the last time I went to a house party? Like, kind of like where I used to work, we used to go out to, we used to just go out to bars and clubs all the time, and pubs. But actual house parties, years. Years and years. um, it's great. You tell people you won't be coming because you don't want. Yeah. Hey, we're having a party. Good for you. What time do you think you'll get here? I won't. I won't. No. The wrong layer. Never mind. Never mind. It's fine. I need to find this layer though. There we go. That'll do. Lord Elston, you have lots of house parties, but not by choice. Yeah. I'm curious, Lord Elston. I feel like we might have covered this in the past, but I'll not lie to you. I've forgotten if we have. The holiday cottages. Do they like? Do you guys provide like entertainment as well, or is it very much like a cater yourselves? Is it like a self-catered type holiday cottage type thing, or is there more to it? I've got a slight vision of just like Lord Ilston is here, just like blah, 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 I hate to, don't want to be outside, don't want to see people, and then at the weekend he's just like doing a full cabaret, and it just takes him out of it so much that when he gets to just during the week, he's just like, oh, I hate all of that. Like for anyone who watched Downton Abbey, I kind of have visions of like Mr. Carlson and his time when he was on the stage. But obviously a little bit more Scottish. Self-catering, you're on your own, abandoned, alone, isolated. Okay. Okay. Sounds great. One of us, one of us, one of us. Hello. Hello. Ash, thank you very much. I thought you'd already done 37 months. Thought that was already... I thought that had already happened. And by the fact that you're saying, does that mean it had already happened? You did last week, okay. Well, maybe you get to do it twice. Let's just work on the hope, Ash, that you've not been charged twice. Maybe keep an eye on that. Actually, it should be on that side. Should be over there. I've done that one wrong, haven't I? It's incorrect. So let's get rid of that. Mostly. And that can go there like that. Doo-doo-doo-doo. You did last week, but your sub ran out. I am as confused as you are, Ash. I'm confused on both parts. Ash, enjoy your lookings. Right, let's try and get a bit of weathering. So I'll apologise to you ahead of time, Lord Ilston. There will be some multiplayer game this afternoon. That is going to happen. But we will be artwork will be back in the morning. As I was saying this at the beginning of stream, so for anyone who wasn't here at the beginning of stream, just in case, we've obviously done about 2.5 weeks kind of solid of Dune, and while Dune will be carrying on through the rest of June, we are going to try and bring back in the other bits as well, because I'm aware that not everyone cares about Dune. So artwork should be coming back to mornings, unless for any reason, say like, I don't even know what it would be, but like if they did a seasonal event that lasted only for 6 hours, like they're not going to do that. But if they introduce like a seasonal event that was only happening for a very short period of time, maybe I would do a morning stream to cover that. But we will be beyond that, we'll just be back to artwork in the morning. I'm keen to get this finished because I got some other bits I want to get started. I want to get, well, we need to get back to the mech farming game. That needs to come back too. Need to put some more time into that. And just some other bits. Just some other bit. You know, I want to get more. Need to get more artwork done. The other thing I've got to work out, the bit I do need to work out, which is a bit of a tricky bit right now, is the full art days were kind of good for getting through a lot of artwork stuff. But then I do also want to fit in the June stuff as well. So I don't know. I don't quite know how I want to tackle that just yet. But I'll figure it. I'll figure it in some way, shape or form. Less Dune indeed, yes, less Dune. Oh, sorry. Didn't mean to scrape the microphone there. Tricky to get this angle in a way that makes sense. Because it's not really going to represent the length very well. Yeah. Right. Give me a moment. I'll be right back. Oh, Eski. Hello, Eski. How you doing? How's it going? Are you good? I was literally about to step away for 1 minute. One minute. Times are well timed. In fact, yeah, I will be back in 1 minute. Nobody draws a head shape. I might try and do a bit more explanation on that, but we'll be back in 1 sec. Um, yeah, I kind of like, obviously we were talking about the head shape thing, and it's very difficult to do it in Discord because I felt a little bit bad because I also felt like I was kind of hijacking your thing a bit, um, but I wanted to. I wanted to try and help, but I also appreciate it might not have been the best time. But let's grab a thing. Because there was a part that you were doing. There was a part that you were doing during all of that, and like your headspace was on the right track. So like when you were doing what's best to do this with? Let's start with that. It's like when you were drawing the head. When you were drawing the head and you were starting with the circle, and then like you got it, and like I was like, oh no, he gets it, he does get it, like he gets it, because you were there going, the head's not right, maybe I need to squeeze it, so that the head was more narrow. And I was like, oh no, he understands. Like I was like, how do I explain this to you without being like on the, without actually, you know, like being on a, you were so close, because you were like, it's not right, the head needs to be taller, but then equally you were recognizing the fact that when you do it this way, the top of the head becomes too rounded, like you end up turning into a cone head. And so I was kind of like, oh, and so I did not want to say it on your stream, and obviously you are now this, because this is like bad etiquette, but I almost wanted to go, dude, I can jump on a microphone now. I can jump on the mic right now and explain how close you are to doing what you're trying to do. And I'll do this in Critter right now, but just to clarify, everything I was trying to help you with, I was doing in MS Paint, because one of the most infuriating things will be, like, if someone's trying to explain something to you, and then they're like, oh, I'm using completely different software, and it's like, well, that's no use then, is it? That's no use if you're using completely different software. So everything I was trying to explain to you was in MS Paint, but it is easier to explain in Critter, just because I can move things around as I'm explaining them. It's like you were there with the circle for the head, and that's cool. And to be perfectly honest, a whole bunch of people will use a circle. A whole bunch of people will use a circle for a head. Like if you're doing a side profile, and you decide to start with a circle. But even then, you don't. What ends up happening is you'll find people bring it down, and so they'll be kind of like, okay, so the halfway point on the circle's there, halfway point on the circle's there, and then they'll be like, okay, well that's however long, so we need to add another third. And when you're making a head, the head is essentially that, and so it's kind of like, so from a side profile, the circle is still involved, but it's not just the circle when you're trying to lay stuff out. So like when you got a circle, that's cool. But then the classic thing that most people do, because this is what we do with cartoon, because the other thing is when you draw a cartoon, you're drawing a cartoon to be quick. And so this is why you often see people with very, very much more simplified heads. And then you're kind of like, okay, well, there's the center line, and I want the center line. Whereas if you were just to stick with a circle, realistically, you want to split it into thirds if you were keeping it as just a circle on its own. And so the nose would take up that amount of space. The mouth is there. Obviously, the eyes are there. If you were just keeping it to a space, your eyebrows are here. And then, because I think one of the things that most people don't appreciate when they're drawing a head is just how big. Because you know, we talk about massive foreheads. Like, you know, I could be a lighthouse if I was out on the edge of sea, just so I could just bounce the moon off the sides. And so I think a lot of people end up making foreheads smaller because they just think, no, there's nothing there. There's nothing going on. And so kind of like you had your face going on here. But then you kind of were up about here, so the forehead was tiny. And so for cartoons, that's fine. But when I was on MS Paint, essentially what I did was I grabbed a circle, and then the bit I was trying to say was take that. Take a copy of that. Copy selection to a new layer. And then what we do is, so remember, because we want it to be in thirds, we bring this up. We bring it up to, and unfortunately I've kind of cut this in a weird way, but there you go. So we bring it up to here. And so this is vaguely into thirds now. But the bit that you were trying to get, where you were like the head's too round on the sides, that's where all you're doing is connecting these two lines. You're connecting these two parts, and then what you end up with is you end up with a face. You end up with a head shape that, hold on, when you get rid of those circle bits. And so now the head is kind of the right bits in and out. So your head shape on top still maintains the right kind of curvature. And then at this point you're just trying to third it up, which is about there and about there. And so so I say this is all I was doing in MS Paint. Like you said it during your stream as well. You said it during your stream. You were there saying during your stream, you were like, proportions matter so much. And so that's all that ended up happening with me. And then after that point, and then after this point, you just kind of like, okay, where's the nose going to be? The nose about there, mouth there. You can kind of work out where the corner of a mouth is, because it's where the center of the eye would be. Those two kind of match up. And then we bring that, so we'll bring that mouth out a little bit further. I also love the fact that you recognize when you did the ears. When you did the ears, you were like, hey, ear, all the way over here. That doesn't look right. And then you were like, oh, wait, no, because it's from the side. Because it's from the side. Your ear's only going to be about that big. But your ear, generally, like this is, and the thing is, we always have to talk in general when we're drawing stuff. Generally, your ear's going to be the length of your nose. So we know the nose is coming down to here. But as a very rough rule of thumb, your ear's gonna start where your eyebrow's starting. So top of the ear, kind of where the eyebrow is, comes out, and then the bottom of your nose is where the little bit of your ear comes in. So it's, and I think one of the other things that's misleading about the top of the head is because most people have hair. So you end up, like when you look at a lot of people, I say most people, when you look at a lot of people, you're also not accounting, you're thinking of the forehead. So you're trying to, this is probably where you see a lot of people get mistaken, is because they're thinking of the forehead, and then they're removing the hair, and they're like, oh, well, there's just forehead then. And then in terms of the jawline, while I do have the circle here, yeah, the jawline will kind of typically go, okay, so if we kind of use the nose as a guide, we'll square that off a bit there, just to give them a bit of a chin. Obviously, some people have pointier chins than others, but generally we'll point off the chin. And then from about towards where the bottom lip would be, so follow where the bottom lip would be, that's where you'll bring the jaw in. Not from the bottom of the ear, because if you bring it in from the bottom of the ear, that almost it's almost too pointy. Again, depends on who you're looking at. And it will vary, but it's kind of like a very standard shape. If you're not drawing someone absolutely specific, you'll end up doing something like that to give you a bit more of a jawline. So some people you will find will have a jawline coming in there. But if you want to give someone a bit more of like, say, like a strong, sharper jawline, then do it from the bottom of the mouth. So there's a little bit going there before you end up coming in entirely. But yeah, no, I'm glad you jumped in. I'm glad you jumped in today, because I was like, it was just like when I saw you doing this bit and you were there going, the head is not that round. I was like, yes, the head is not that round, but it was you were also probably too far down the line at that point, because you'd drawn in a lot of details, so it would have been just a complete mess to try and fix it. But yeah, so that when I talk about the two circles, that's what I mean by the two circles, two overlapping circles, and that kind of gives you your thirds while maintaining the head in a particular way. And I think one of the other things as well is like kind of like where you have like the mouth and the chin. I think sometimes people make the jaw smaller than it should be. Eski, thank you very much for the gifty subs, man. Thank you. You don't have to do gifty subs for these things.
Cheeky.
But yeah, so I was trying to explain it, but I was also hyper conscious that your stream is about StarCraft and chess, not about trying to draw things. So I was like, I don't want to derail things too much. But yeah, so there's just some kind of small bits on. But yeah, obviously, like when we're younger, the first thing we do is draw a circle and put a face on it. And again, that's still valid. I think one of the things that about art, and like comes back to your comment where you were saying trying to get the proportions right. Proportions are really important to understand. Proportions are super important to understand, but once you understand them, that's when you can start changing them. So like once you kind of like, you need to understand proportions so that you can break them, and then once you break them, you can do whatever the hell you want with them. And that's, when you see like cartoon art, when you see cartoonists and stuff do that kind of thing, that's when you start understanding, like they have to understand proportions to be able to make things that look weird in a cartoon. If they didn't understand the proportions, it wouldn't work so well, even more so with animation. But yeah, JU over on YouTube's hello. This is a little bit different, isn't it? But it's all right, JU, because we are still doing Dune. This is what we're doing today. I'm just slightly sidetracked, but we are technically doing Dune right now. I'm trying to finish this Dune artwork. But yeah, have you got other artwork to show off? You just bought an iPad Pro. Learn how to draw anime. Sketching on glass is a struggle. I will come back to that in just a second, but 100% agree. Very different drawing on glass than it is drawing on paper. But yes, I'll come back to that in just a sec. But yeah, sorry, Eski. You knew something fell off, and that's the important thing. Like, if you know something feels off, that's where you can start coming in a bit more. And some people will say like, figure out drawing out the skull and all that kind of stuff, and that is super useful. Again, understanding the basics of how you put together and where, you understand that underneath there is the cheekbone that's going to be here. The brow of the skull is going to be there, and so if we started drawing in a skull, that's gonna be there, and then we know behind here you've got the nose bits going on, and so eventually in theory you could, and then we know we got these bits coming out, and I'm sorry, I'm doing this really quickly. Apparently this person has a really middle tooth. Let's just put a little line in there to get rid of it. And then you also know that when you're doing the jaw, you've obviously got a separate jaw bit. So learning all the basics can be is super important to understanding, especially if you want to alter things. But yeah, that and one of the other things as well is like if you struggle with drawing circles, and so when you draw a circle, so like I'm not great at drawing circles. If I draw circles, I'm I'm not great at drawing circles, no matter how I do them. But you still want that third rule for a face. So for anyone who, for the guys who've been following the art streams longer, you'll be familiar with when I draw the gnomes. But when I do the gnomes, I don't do circles. So if you struggle with drawing a circle, don't draw a circle. Instead, draw a rectangle. Draw a rectangle, third it up. You still have your thirds. And so a lot of this is still a rectangle. You know, if we bring this over here, watch this not work now. Now that I've done it, watch this not work. But if we bring out a rectangle a bit, bring that down. So you can see it actually worked out not too bad. So when I draw the gnomes, I do rectangles just because I find them easier than circles. So the only bit once you've done the rectangle, you've then got to work out, you know, you've got to put some curves in, but you also know that that's not too difficult to do once you put the curves in. So yeah, if you struggle with circles, you can still do the proportions of a face, and then you can actually see here what I've done here. You see how this is half of that lower third? So that jawline's pretty much doing that half of that lower third. So if you struggle with circles, obviously if you can get better at circles, get better at circles. But if you struggle with circles, the same methodology for drawing a face works with drawing rectangles. And so that when I do the gnomes, you often see me start with a rectangle, which I then third off because I give the gnomes really heavy brows. I give the gnomes really heavy brows, and then they have their really big nose. They have their super big nose, which I bring out like this. But it's still the same principle. It's still the same principle of the heavy brow is there, and then the heavy brow comes in. And you can see how that comes together. But it's still, you know, I could use circles if I got good at them. If I got good at drawing circles, I could use circles for the gnomes instead. But you know, at the moment, we just use rectangles, and that's that. Yeah. And then, sorry, Doc, you struggle with drawing a straight line with a ruler. What's my suggestion for that? What, drawing straight lines? I just don't very rarely draw a straight line. Or, if I'm in a digital tool, I just use a digital tool. There's elements to, you know, if the tool is there, use that. And in reality, if you need to use a ruler, use a ruler. It's not, you know, there's no need to stop that. But yeah. Anyway, so Eski, I just wanted to follow into that a bit more because I realised that trying to describe things in just the odd screenshot in Discord is pretty difficult when also trying not to derail your stream. So I apologise for getting involved in your stream to a certain degree. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of clarify that a bit more. So there we go. Right. We'll close that now. And Jayu, yeah. Have you got any more artwork? So I mean, this is like the main thing I'm working on at the moment. Which is obviously, you'll be familiar with like the June stuff. I have a little bit, I think someone asked me about this last week, and I do need to like start updating my Ko-fi more. Yeah, there's a couple of bits on my Ko-fi page, which where's that? Right, put over there. There you go. That's my Ko-fi page over there. There's not a lot there. I need to do a proper go through it and update that, because that's a bit behind. Though it's got one of my D&D thing. Well, it's got a couple of my D&D bits on it. But yeah, so coming back to that question of if you've just got an iPad and you're moving from potentially physical artwork to digital, it's 100% different. Like, there's no easy way around it. Yeah, drawing on glass is very different to drawing on paper. There is the option, you can get the option of you can buy screens that you can buy like films that you put over the top of your drawing tablet to give it more of a texture of glass. I've never tried them though, so I don't know if they help or not. I think one of the things with like when you move to drawing on glass, the first thing is there's no super easy way to say it. You kind of just have to get used to it and just do a lot of it. One of the important things is when you first move to drawing on glass, check your pressure sensitivity. So when I first got this tablet, I kind of messed it up a bit. When I first got this tablet because it was the first one I ever had, and I didn't really have anyone to ask. And I did not appreciate that there were different pressure sensitivity settings. And so when I first got this, I was like trying to get the pressure sensitivity working, and I was like, oh, this is my first experience of pressure sensitivity in digital artwork, and I was like really pressing into the screen. Now fortunately it didn't really do damage to the screen, but I was going through nibs. I was going through the nibs of this thing. I was going through one like maybe every 2 weeks, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna have to buy more of these. And then one day I was watching an art streamer, and they were talking about, oh, I'm just gonna go set my pressure sensitivity. I'm gonna have a bit of a recalibration because I feel like it might be off. And I was just sat there going, I didn't know you could do that. I had no clue. And so I ended up going through the pressure sensitivity only to find out that actually it was off. It was basically off, and so it wasn't working at all. So yeah, if you've just got one and you're starting to move into it, double check the pressure sensitivity works the way you think it does. One of the other bits that if you're moving into digital artwork, one thing that I found that was quite overwhelming was the amount of brushes you have access to. And so what I ended up doing, because I was finding it too, I was like, I don't know which bits I need to work. I don't know which brushes I should be using. I don't know where I should be doing it. And I was picking up brushes, and then they weren't working when I was trying to use them. They weren't doing what I thought they were going to do. And so what I ended up doing was I basically took out my pencil case from when I used to draw all the physical stuff. So I took out my pencil case, and I went and found everything from my pencil case that was in the digital space. I then I literally have a drop down on here which is my pencil case, and so I got that all together. I got the pencil case together, and then because I knew how that was meant to look in physical artwork, I could then kind of use those things, and that's how I was able to work out whether the pressure sensitivity was working, how that brush actually reacted to make it look like it would compared to the physical stuff. And it also cut down the amount of brushes I was looking at, because when I did my pencil case, I brought that down to instead of looking at 300 different brushes, I was looking at about 10. And so from that, I'd be like, this is how I can do this with a real pencil case. Got used to digital artwork, and then as time's gone on, I'll then go and look at other brushes and go, oh, what does that brush do? Does that brush do anything that I like? Does it do anything I don't like? Okay, I'll keep that one, and I put it in the pencil case. So those would be if you're just getting into doing things with the iPad and stuff, possibly those are my two primary recommendations if you're moving into doing digital artwork. Is make sure the pressure sensitivity is actually on and is at a level that makes sense to you, because equally you can make pressure sensitivity too light, and then when you want to do really light brush strokes it becomes very difficult because you've got it set really lightly. So yeah, definitely check that, and then if you feel like there's too many brushes to work with, try and find the pencil and just see how the pencil works in find out how the pencil works in digital, and that'll help you understand the difference between working on paper and working on glass. that would be, yeah. So if that's where you're starting at, absolutely go with those things. Because that helped me a lot. And hopefully it helps other people. But yeah, Jehu, I love the D&D commissions and the gnomes. Thank you. Thank you. I need to get more done. The only problem is it takes me so long to do a piece. I get distracted, and so it takes me so long to do a piece that I do need to put more time into doing these things. But yeah, I think is that everything? I think is that if I hope hopefully I've not missed anything. Yeah. Let me just I'm just going to scroll back up just in case. Also, Twitch has just gone into ads. Okay, cool. Right, let's try and get a bit more of this dude done. Like, the daft thing is, I'm getting into super detail on this guy, and we're going to be zoomed out like this. We're going to be zoomed out here. Also, for anyone who's not seen this image before, where is it? Where's the thing? We've got some very important things that go on this image. You get to see the secrets. If I can find them, I can't find the secrets. Oh yeah, we need to put you back, don't we? Oh, actually, do you know what? Now I've done that. Let's get rid of that. Like so. Yeah, I don't need that. Where's the bit? I've lost him. I did have uwu glasses. I did have uwu glasses. I did have uwu eyes for the worm at one point. Can't remember where they've gone now. But yeah. Right. Let's try and get back to. Let's try and get back to these wings and get these in place. If I could finish this guy today, which is not going to happen because I've just realised it's 11:45. But if I could at least get the basic shape of the wings in, maybe, that would be good. If I could get this finished by the end of the week, that would be excellent. Because then we can start moving on to other things, which would be an absolute delight. Thanks. Check the pressure sensitivity. Sweet. And you're sticking to two brushes at the moment. The line smoothing seems like a game changer. Nice. Nice. I hope you have good time with. You have good time with Apple. I've never used the Apple stuff, but I've seen like other streamers using the Apple stuff, and it looks like it's very, very nicely designed for doing certain bits of artwork. I also really like, one of the things that I do really like about the Apple stuff, like it's Procreate, isn't it, on Apple? One of the things I really do like about Procreate is that you have like a record feature. So you can record just the screen and everything that's happening on it. Which I think is very cool for like, you know, like making like art videos and stuff. Now this is... I've got this at the wrong angle. It's going to help me figure out the angle. Actually, no. I can work this. I can work this out. This is fine. Lord Elston, you liked drawing it until you discovered you lacked any artistic soul. That's not true, Lord Elston. Stop it. Lord Elston keeps trying... For anyone who's not been here before, Lord Elston keeps trying to bait me. He keeps trying to bait me in with this. He can't draw because he has no soul. And it's not true. Do you know what you should do, Lord Elston? When you have to watch all those rom-coms with Lady E, you should get a sketchbook. And then when you have to watch all those rom-coms that you don't want to watch, you should just do some sketching. And it'll all be great. It'll all be great. doing that a little bit. Not quite sure why, but that blend is not going the way I want it to blend. In terms of the will it blend, does anyone remember that YouTube? I want to say it was on YouTube. Will it blend? That was a great channel. Back in the day. Happy with that. Well, that wood's not blending, so we'll move away from blending and we'll just airbrush it, and then that'll be fine. JU, Apple products are a nice bit of kit, but heavily overpriced. Yeah. You've got a Windows compatible tablet, but you're still using the Apple ecosystem. It was, yeah, that's kind of covered both the kind of points why I don't think I'll ever be able to, like, I'll never use Apple. Is, yeah, the price is a bit prohibitive. And it's also that thing of, as you say, like the ecosystem. Once you're in it, kind of like everything you do kind of needs to be Apple. And that's not to say that, you know, Android's not the same. Like, there's plenty of bits that I do now where, or, you know, or PC, you know, before we get into a Apple or Android or whatever, who's awesome and who's better. Yeah, everyone's got their ecosystems to a degree, haven't they? But yeah, most of my you know, my other stuff, anything else that I interact with is PC or Android, and I think to get the most out of these systems, you kind of need to commit to one of the ecosystems. And so yeah, I'm not in the Apple stuff at all. Hello, Crocodile. Hello. Lord Uston, you got to pay attention during the rom-coms so that you laugh and cry at the appropriate moments, or she'll know. Right. Okay, so it's not just that you have to watch the rom-coms with her. You have to be an active participant during it as well. I didn't appreciate that then. Yeah, I suppose the sketching becomes a difficult thing then in that scenario. I did not fully anticipate that there was going to be tests during the watching of the rom-coms. Crocodile. The dude must be 125 years old. Wait, which dude? Wait, are we talking about this dude? Or are we talking about this guy? Or is this just me falling foul of switching between conversations too quickly? Which obviously I've been known to do. On occasion. On occasion. That did not do what I wanted it to do. You, please. That one was sketched in completely wrong, wasn't it? That's not where it would have been at all. More like that. Oh, nearly 12 o'clock. Alright. Well, we are just about coming to the end of Lord Ilston's favourite part of the streams. And we're about to move into his least favourite part of the stream. Because we're going to do Dastardly Multiplayer. Although you never know, it might be okay. We might not meet anyone today. So it might be minimal multiplayer. I'll try my best not to go near anyone. In fact, if we go into the deep desert, I will actively fly away from people. Which... I don't know if we will go to the deep desert. Because I need to do some story stuff. I don't know if the Hephaestus is PvP. I hope not. Especially if I'm going to be there for as long as people implied. Because that would be rubbish. Might change that around a little bit. Trying to go for a vanishing point, but might have been a bit too extreme. Leaf by Niggle. A story by someone called J.R.R. Tolkien. But the artist getting lost in the little details. I mean, maybe it's about me. Maybe he knew. Maybe he knew about me before I knew about myself. So is this J.R.R. Tolkien? Has he done anything else? Would I know him from any other work? Or did he just do one book? It's a pretty solid name. I hope it's not just a single book. I'd hate to find that out. I've got two wings kind of done, and now I'm going to do the thing that Yana tells me off for. I'm going to hit save after several hours. I'm a terrible human being. I'm a terrible human being. Oh dear. Ash, he was a lefty woke bastard. Good lord, Ash. You know, politics in chat. We don't touch on these things. He wasn't C.S. Lewis, so he has to go. God. Just descent into just angry comments. The White Witch was innocent. Aslan was murdering. I feel like we need more time to unravel this commentary. They're just. I look away for a moment. And they. I wonder, going back to and Ash, no, I appreciate you weren't going on a massive rant. Unless, do you know what? I say I appreciate you weren't going on a massive rant. We can never be entirely sure what words can turn people. I've been on the internet for a long time. Like it could be the smallest detail that can turn people, and then I found out that Ash just absolutely hates Tolkien. How dare you talk about Tolkien? Tolkien. Do you know? I'll be perfectly honest with you. I have never looked at how many other things. I've never looked at how many other books that Tolkien has ever done. I'm only really aware of the main four. I gotta say the main four. Please don't get too upset with me, Ash. I'm gonna say the main four. That's sorry, the main five, isn't it? Because you got Lord of the Rings, obviously, and then you got The Hobbit, and then you got The Silmarillion. I feel like if I keep talking right now, I'm just gonna make him more and more annoyed. Anyway. Lord Elston, the White Witch turns people painlessly to stone. They recover with no memory of their ordeal and gives people Turkish delight. Yeah, but she gives people Turkish delight. And that's just not a happy time. The entire series is about Christian dominance over tribal pagan beliefs. Wait, are we talking about all these books? All these books. Okay. We're not going to get too far down this religious connotation stuff. It's going to derail the whole thing. But yes, I'll tell you what. I'm gonna leave this with the footnote. I'm gonna leave this with the footnote that yes, a lot of these books have some religious undertones that I'm aware of, but maybe we don't need to explore too deeply. It's also lunchtime. So, there's that too. We don't want to get in the way of my lunchtime. Otherwise, that'll go terribly. Right, where are we up to with... I'm just going to do another quick... YouTube check. Because it's very exciting, all these numbers. Numbers go up. But yeah, anyway. Right. I feel like I've dodged a bomb there. Especially because I'm going to be walking away, so I don't have time to moderate it. I am going to be back in about 15-20 minutes. I'm going to be back in about 15-20 minutes. We will be moving into June Awakening for the afternoon. Tomorrow we will be doing more of this stuff in the morning. We'll do more artwork in the morning because we want to get this finished so that we can move on to new artwork. I've had some idea. I don't know exactly what artwork we're going to do next is. I do need to do some of that mech for the mech farmer game. We still need some more. They need more concept-y art stuff for the mech farming game. But But there is something that I'm kind of keen to do, and I don't know whether to do it off stream or not, because if I do it off stream, it's more of a surprise for someone. But I also kind of like the... But if I do it on stream, that kind of guarantees that it'll get done. Because off stream, I get distracted by everything. So there's that. There's that. But yeah, tomorrow we'll do more of this in the morning, just to, you know, keep chipping away at it. And I say it would be awesome if I could get this finished by the end of the week. Nice little draw a line under it. So yeah, we'll do more of this tomorrow morning, tomorrow afternoon, June Awakening. Tomorrow evening, June Awakening. Wednesday evening, June Awakening. Thursday, I don't know what I'm going to do with Thursday yet, because I don't know yet. We might do art in the morning. We'll have to see how it goes. Lord Ilston, Benny's Jesuits. Yeah, Benny's Jesuits is exactly how anyway, cool. Let's go get some food. If you've been sat here as long as I have, please go stretch your legs. If you also go get some hydration. Hydration's super important. Do that. If it's the appropriate time of day, go get yourself some food. If it's not the appropriate time of day, go check on your pets, because while it is cooler, it's still warmer, you know, it's still summertime or whatever. So yeah, go check on your pets. If you are at work, make sure that you're doing work, because that's important, because that's what they're paying you for. If you're at home, do home things if you need to. If you are working from home, make sure that you've done enough work that they don't question you if you're, you know, walking away from your desk, all that kind of stuff. Welcome back, Yana. Hello, hello. You got into rain on your way back and now need fresh clothing and food. Rain has a habit of doing that. But you have time, because I'm going to be away for about 15-20 minutes. The longer I talk, the longer it's going to take me to get back. And now I need to do the shameless plugs. Because we're trying to do the big push on YouTube, if you haven't already and you're enjoying the content, please follow me on YouTube. Try to get to the 1,000 subscribers. We've got a little bit of a way to go, but you know, I'm quietly confident in some way, shape, or form. And when I say quietly confident, I mean I have no faith in getting to 1,000. But if I say these things, hopefully it'll work out well. Lord Elston, your pets are 3 hours drive away. Do you just not want me to watch the June streams? I hope that there is someone who can check in on your pets, Lord Elston. I'm sure there is someone who can check in on them. But also, if you're going to be 3 hours drive away from them, I'm going to work on the basis that you have planned for that, and so your pets are fine. I do not expect you to immediately go and drive for 3 hours to go and check on them. I'm working on the basis someone else can do that for you. But yeah, also, oh damn. Okay, here we have a side problem with me moving between chats as well. Lord Ilston, thank you very much for the 100 bits that you put in 41 minutes ago. I'm so sorry. So sorry that I missed those bits. Were they about the same time? Oh, it was at the same time when Eskia did the gifted subs. Sorry, dude. I apologise profusely. I'm a terrible human being. But I suppose I was also doing art on stream, which is, I know, what those bits are for. So, yeah, just double check we covered that. Right, I'm going to walk away, guys. I will be 15-20 minutes. I'll leave this on screen for anyone who's not seen it before. There you go. There's our Dune in Dune artwork piece. And yeah, I'll see you in a mo, guys. I'll be back as quickly as possible.